It is almost becoming commonplace for people that hold a celebrity status to lecture the average white American on how they are racists. For instance, over the weekend, hundreds of NFL football players decided to take a knee to combat racial oppression or something like that. Now, as the American people are still livid over these disgusting protests, Spurs coach Gregg Popovich just went on a racist rant about white people, and, can you guess what happened to this racist coach? Nothing. Welcome to the brave new world. For years, Martin Luther King Jr. fought for civil rights before he was violently gunned down. King wanted the black community to be afforded the same rights as guaranteed in the Constitution of the United States. His entire mission was that black people would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Though King was not able to see his dream come true, it eventually did, and the country began to heal. Segregation became a thing of the past, and lessons were handed down to future generations so that this would never happen again. However, all that changed when Barack Obama was elected president and racism became an everyday topic. Now, segregation has returned, but this time it is the black community wanting to keep white people away. These activists also demand reparations for the sins of the past, new laws, and constant apologies. And, to make matters worse, there are white people who are egging this dangerous mentality on with no repercussions. One of those people is Coach Gregg Popovich of the San Antonio Spurs, who just went on a racist tirade claiming that to make white people understand racism is to make them uncomfortable. Here is more from the Daily Wire. On Monday, San Antonio Spurs coach and longtime leftist Gregg Popovich expressed his perspective on the world to the assembled media. "Our country is an embarrassment to the world," Popovich explained. He said that players who decided to protest the national anthem have our full support. No matter what they might want to do or not to do, it is important to them to be respected by us, and there is no recrimination no matter what takes place unless it's ridiculously egregious. The wokest coach in basketball then lectured everyone on racial politics. People have to be made to feel uncomfortable. Obviously race is the elephant in the room and we all understand that. Unless it is talked about constantly it is not going to get better. Because you were born white you have advantages, many people can't look at it, it's too difficult. Popovich went on to rip NASCAR owners who threatened to fire employees who sat for the national anthem, stating that such a perspective represented childishness, gratuitous fear-mongering, and concluded, "I had no idea that I lived in a country where people would actually say that sort of thing. I'm not totally naive, but I think these people have been enabled by an example that we've all been given. You've seen in Charlottesville." But don't worry, Popovich isn't the divisive one, even though Popovich endorsed Colin Kaepernick's kneeling for the national anthem long before Trump addressed it. There are a bevy of problems with Popovich's perspective here. First, talking constantly about race does not alleviate racial problems, it exacerbates them. That's why polls show consistently that race relations were better before President Obama took office. By elevating racial discourse back to the center of our national consciousness, we reopened wounds that had been healing. And the notion that being born white in the United States represents an unspoken privilege is unsupported by data. If that were the case, Asian Americans would not be the highest earning group in the United States. If that were the case, single white mothers would be better off than married black parents. They aren't, by a long shot. If that were the case, we would expect to see white life expectancy continuously rising, rather than falling again. Judging people's circumstances based on color rather than actual individual background is racism. Finally, connecting all of this with Charlottesville rather than a natural backlash to the cultural warfare waged against patriotism by the hardcore left is myopic at best. But at least Popovich continues to win brownie points with the leftist media. This mentality has to stop at some point, but it won't until we all band together and say enough is enough. The left desires to destroy America, and the only way that can be accomplished is by dividing the country again. We cannot allow that to happen and must continue to stand strong against racist people such as Popovich. We must remind everyone that we are Americans first and foremost, and the minute that they divide us is the moment these liberal elites win. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to my channel.